Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today I'm doing my 2026 reading journal. I can't believe we're already doing this video, and it's one of my favorite videos to do all year long. I work so hard on it. So we're just gonna have a great time. I'll do a voiceover for most of the crafting because trust me, you don't want to watch like a 3-hour video, but we're just gonna have a great time. I've been using Archer and Olive for the past 3 years, I believe now, and I probably will continue using them, especially when they have amazing sales. So I actually did get this one on a sale. It was a mystery journal. I didn't know what size, what color, what design I was going to get. So thankfully, I did get the A5, which is my favorite. I love the A5s. So that's just perfect for me. I love A5s and I love the square design. So A5 is perfect. That's the one I usually use every single year. So let's check out the one that I got as a mystery bundle, which I actually did already check out, and it is beautiful. It is a cloth edition, which I know a lot of people don't really like the cloth editions. I'm personally okay with it. I don't really care all that much. So just really love the whole style of it. I love the color because mustard color is actually one of my favorite colors. So this is the one that I got. And I think people prefer like the faux leather type of cover, but I'm actually okay with the canvas cover. I know it does get scratched up quite a bit probably, but I think it'll still be fun. I don't really beat up on my journals really. I tend to use mine when it is, it's right next to me. And so I can just open it, fill out what I need every month, and then just close it again. So I don't really rough it up or anything. Love the inside papers. So I'm super excited to get started. So this theme this year, last year was bee theme, which was amazing. This is actually my sixth reading journal, I think. So it's incredible that I've gone this far. So we're going to have a great time. This is going to be kind of cottagecore theme. So a lot of flowers, vintage style. I think it's going to be so beautiful to go with the cover, especially because we kind of have like that vintage cottagecore feel. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm really excited to share this journal with you. I think it turned out really, really beautiful when I was finished with it. So for my title page, this actually is the one I usually try to do the most work on because I just love seeing the first page as I open the journal. I was going to put it on like the very, very first page, but I decided to skip it like almost everybody does because it just didn't seem to fit the style that I wanted. So I just went to the next page and added a bunch of distress ink to the first page. I think I used the color Espresso in the Tim Holtz colors. Really like kind of the dark chocolate color, and I just did kind of a rough outline behind that mirror that I wanted to put in there. And I do have a couple of pencil markings on the pages. That's just to remind me of what I wanted to put on each page, and it really does help. I can either erase it later or it'll mostly be covered up by designs and everything I want to put on it. So I decided to add this cute little frame, and I will try to put all the supplies I used in the description box below. So if you're interested in anything, I will make sure to have those ready for you so you can check them out easier. I decided to cut out this girl from this same paper pack as the mirror frame to add her into the kind of in the frame, so she looks like she's looking into the mirror rather than out a window. I just like the look of that. I never really do cut out graphics from collage paper, but I just thought this page really needed it this time. Then on the right side, I used some textured green paper. You can't really tell, but it is slightly textured. Then I added a bookshelf graphic, which I really like the bookshelf. Kind of ties it in that it is a book journal. I found this really cute bunny graphic as well that I cut out and put on the page as well because I really love bunnies. I used to have a bunny when I was younger, and it doesn't really match the bunny I used to have, but I just thought it was really cute, very summery, and goes with that cottagecore feel that I wanted. So I added the bunny onto the page. Also really love double-sided tape. I think I used a whole roll when I was making this journal video because I had to go into a second one. Then I used my Tombow Fujinosuke brush pen to add the year. I was going to use stickers for the year, but I don't know, I just couldn't find the right stickers for the year. Then I did the reading journal, and it kind of stood out with the black and white, so I did change that later because I put on this quote later, and I realized that I used the same distress ink to kind of just make it that brown color. So I pretty much changed almost all my letter graphics to that really pretty brown. So I put on this quote that says, "To travel far, There is no better ship than a book, Emily Dickinson. And I can't remember where I found that quote, but I just thought it was perfect for a reading journal. Plus, I love to travel. I love to travel through books, so I thought it was perfect for the reading journal. So I added that on there. And usually, like last year, I kept all of my word graphics black and white. I really like adding the distressing. So here I am, only showing you this one because I already stuck the graphics down, but just added a little bit of that espresso colored distress ink onto my reading journal because it just kind of helps it to blend in more and not to stand out so much. I think it really just ties everything together, and I really like that. So my title page is probably my favorite page that I did in this journal. Next is my reading trackers and my gratitude. So I used to do gratitude every month, but I like this look better. It keeps all my gratitude in one spot. So I just have it from January all the way through December, and I get to write down the things I'm grateful for that month in one page. So I use the same paper pack that I used in the beginning, just cut out some really pretty flower borders and leaf borders to kind of tie it all in. I really like using this green color. I honestly was expecting to use kind of more pinks and yellows and maybe some blues, but I think I used more greens and blues for the journal. Then I just added in all the months. I think I do have a stamp for this, but I didn't know where it was, so I just decided to hand write all of the months in. Then on the right hand side, this is where I put all of my daily word count, which I actually had a lot of fun with last year, so I decided to do it again. I chose this Tombow green for the gratitude journal as well. I did a rainbow color last year, but I actually really like that sage green color. And then again, I just colored in those words with the distress ink because I think it looks, I don't know, it just blends so much better with the green rather than standing out in the black and white. I think it looks much more fun. I wish I did it this past year too, but I didn't think of it until this year. Then I found this really pretty pocket watch, kind of matched the theme too, like cottagecore, but also like, tracking the words not the words, but the pages I read every day. I just thought it kind of matched that same theme as well. Found this really pretty brick paper that I got from the same paper pack. The paperback that I used, it's so much fun. I love it. I will make sure definitely to link it down below because you get so much paper. And there's so many like little things you can cut out and use. So just the stone with the clock, I think it looked really cute. Just wanted to add something extra fun because last year I only had the reading tracker words and nothing extra. So I thought something else was needed on this page. Then I just went in and did the entire calendar for the year, and this took me quite a while to do. I'm glad I do have the little measuring thing, so that way I can kind of keep my lines straight. My lines are pretty straight when I write or draw, but sometimes it's just handy to have a nice ruler to get those lines straight. It's actually a Bible mat that I got in like a Bible craft kit years ago, and I use it every single year for my reading journal. So then on the top of the graphic, I put the initials for each of the months from January to December. And on the left-hand side, I put from day 1 all the way through 31 days. And I probably should put 31 down to 1, but I don't know. That's just the way I did it last year, and it worked well for me, so I just kept it the same. Next, I just put the title of the page, which was Reading Tracker. And yeah, I like to put the title on each of the pages. That way I know what each page is for rather than just putting the graphic and not knowing what it's for. Next, on the right-hand side, I always put little squares where I keep track of how many pages that I read by color coding each day. And I usually put like 0 to 20, 20 to 40, and so on. And I have one color that I use for like if I finished a whole book in a day, which I do that sometimes, and I did quite often this past year, so that was nice. Then for audiobooks and ebooks that might not have page numbers, I use different colors than physical books. So physical books get a brighter color, and then the ebooks with percentages and audiobooks get the pastel version. So that way I can tell between the different trackings, whether I read more audio or listened to more audio, read more physical books. So it's kind of fun to compare at the end of the year. Not that I will, but it's nice to, have a different system for each color. Then I also have a color for if I finished a whole book in a day. So I make sure to have like an entirely different color for that. And I don't care if that's audiobook or ebook or physical. Next, I added in my Bible tracker, which I didn't do really well on this past year, and that's okay. But I made it movable so I could put it from one journal to the next, which I think is really great. I just put some washi tape and added in. Next page is my daily reading tracker. It's similar to the pages I read every day, but this is just to kind of check off if I read every day. And this past year, I've only missed 2 days of reading so far, which is great. Even if I've only read like a few pages or a comic book or something, it's just nice to see. And I think the only days I missed, I think we were traveling those 2 days, or I was at an event that I just kind of forgot to read that day. And that's okay. Sometimes we need just a break. So it's kind of nice to just track and see how well I do by the end of the year. And, sometimes we just need a break. But it's also nice to, make it a goal to read every day if you can. If you can't, that's totally okay too. We all need a break. But it just kind of helps keep me motivated to continue reading. And it also helps me not to get into a reading slump either, which is really nice. So I just love making these graphics. I think this is my second year making them, and they just help really keep track of everything nice. And I love color coding systems. I never used to, but I actually really like doing it this year and last year. So then I just put the dates down, and this time I did put the number 1 at the bottom and 31 at the top. I don't know why I put them opposite. I did it last year too, but that's okay. Then I just put days red, kept that same kind of brown distress ink. Then the next page are my rereads, and I love making these little brackets to put all of my pictures in. And I use the app Pic Collage. I'm sure you can use Canva or any app, but I just love making little graphics. I just look up the book covers on the internet search, and I print them out on sticky paper. So that way they're easy to put on. And I know I get asked that question a lot, so that's what I do to get the book covers. And you might recognize a few from this past year if you've seen my reading journal from last year. I did not get to the Star Wars trilogy, so I decided to reread that next year because I don't think I'm going to get to it by the end of the year. And I also put The Princess Bride because I'm trying to read it every single year because it is my favorite book. Then I also put the Rocky Mountain Legacy series by Kristen Heitzman, which has been one of my favorites. I reread it like 2 or 3 times, and I want to do it again. The next page, this is my 26 and 26 page. So this is all the books that I will be wanting to read next year. So if you don't want spoilers, just skip a few minutes. I'll try to put the timestamp in the video for you so that way you don't have spoilers or whatever for this, because I will have a video later on in December of the books that I picked because I had to make that video first in order to do this page, and that's okay. So if you want spoilers, feel free to watch. So I always pick the amount of books to match the year, so it is 26 books this year. Again, had to do the cute little graphic with the distress ink. And last year I did frames for all these, but I just got, kind of tired this year. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put them like I do like in my end of the month wrap-ups. I'm just going to put them with enough room to do like little star ratings and everything. And I think it still looked cute. It looks kind of like a little art gallery or whatever. Still, even without the frames that I did last year, that just took a lot of time. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put them up. And it actually kind of saved me room too, because if I did the frames, I wouldn't have had as much room as I did in this one because I was able to put 4 book covers in each row, which was really nice. So these are the books that I'm kind of prioritizing for next year. I mean, of course, I probably will not get to all of them. This year I did really well though. I think I made it about 2/3 of the way through the books that I wanted to read, which is really rare that I even get to like hardly any of them. Usually I'm a huge mood reader, or I end up reading review books because of course I try to prioritize those as well when I can. But it was just lots of fun to kind of print out the book covers again. I love looking at book covers. I do like writing in the titles and stuff sometimes, but graphics are just so much easier because you'd be like, oh, yeah, I do own that book, or I remember reading that, because I do kind of associate book covers more than titles. Like titles I'm okay with, but if I see a book cover, I know I own that book. Like I've always been really great at and not buying repeat books because I do know the majority of book covers that I own. Then I did actually make 2 pages for this spread, thinking that I was going to kind of spread them out more. So what I decided to do with this was just put the extra couple that I had on the top, and I'm going to use the rest of these 2 pages to keep track of the books I DNF next year. So any books that I just decide to quit, they're going to go on the bottom of those 2 pages. Next page is my 100 book challenge, and it should technically be my 200 book challenge, but I forgot to change the word graphics, so that's okay, because I do read a lot of books, but I also have a lot of time, but I'm kind of glad I kept it at 100 because I don't know. I mean, I might end up writing a lot next year and I might be super busy, so that's okay. I'll just keep it at 100, and if I do more, that's okay. I usually end up doing more than that, but even if your goal is only 5 books a year, or even just one, as long as you're enjoying reading, it's your own personal goal. It's nobody else's, just your own. So I decided to kind of do this sage green color. Really like this color this year for some reason. Like, I don't think I've ever used sage green in any of my book journals before, not even for like a monthly spread. So this is kind of new and fun for me. Next, I found this inspiration sticker book that I had lying around. I actually found it a few months ago, and I was like, okay, I'm going to use this for my reading journal for next year. So I found these gorgeous florals and watercolors, and I decided that at the top of my 100 book challenge, I just needed an extra floral area there. So I added that, and I used my X-Acto to cut out the top of the section. So that way we kind of have a little bit of a floral theme going on there, which I really like that. I liked how it turned out. And plenty of space to add in tracker squares, which I didn't end up writing in the video, but that's okay. I'll just add those in later. Next is my genre tracker, and I personally love this. I love tracking all the genres that I read, and I also do like young adult, middle grade. I keep track of pretty much everything. I just really enjoy that, and it helps with my monthly end of the month wrap up as well. I still really like the way the distress ink just makes the words kind of just blend really well in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in all of the boxes and the genres. And I did kind of fix my genres from last year because some, like cozy mysteries, I only ended up reading like 5 cozy mysteries. So I didn't need like 4 whole lines of boxes for that. So I decided to just kind of, you know, make it smaller. Some boxes needed more room. Like I think adult fiction needed way more room. Last year I had to just, add like tallies underneath the box because I ran out of space for adult fiction, which is really rare for me. Like, well, most of the time I read adult fiction, but like mainstream adult fiction was like a lot for me. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to give it a bigger box this year. So I kind of really changed my boxes up from last year. This next page is my books I read throughout the year. It's my bookshelf, and these are some of my favorite pages to do. I technically have probably 3 or 4 pages, but it just takes a while to decorate sometimes, so I just did one on camera, and then I'm going to take my time and do the rest and maybe decorate a little bit more. But this bookshelf stamp is one of my favorites. I got it on Etsy years ago, and it is my favorite stamp. I use it all the time, and it's just a cute little bookshelf, and it is getting a little bit old again. I'm probably going to have to try to figure out how to clean it again, but sometimes it doesn't ink as well as it could, but it does pretty good. It does a pretty good job, and it's so much easier and quicker than having to hand draw them on my own. I could, but hand drawing, it would take me probably at least a good half hour to an hour to hand draw all these versus using the stamp, which only takes me about probably, I would say 3 to 5 minutes for a page, which is really nice. And any lines that are missed, I actually go in with I think a 0.1 micron pen, and I just go in and fill in those lines. So that way it doesn't even look like you made a mistake with the stamps. Next, I went back in with that sticker book. Oh no, this is a new sticker book that I found. That's right. It's I think it's a museum sticker book, and it has these beautiful washi tape stickers. So I found these really cute knick-knack bric-a-brac stickers that I think looked really cute in the bookshelves. It was a little bit different than last year's. Next is my favorite book of the month tracker. I like to put what my favorite book was each month, even though I do actually do that at the end of each month as well with my least favorite, but I like doing it here as well. So I just added some distress ink around the borders, and it actually didn't do too bad. It didn't really go over the lines too much on the sides, which I was happy about. I was going to use washi tape, but I was like, that's okay. It can look a little messy. And when I put the words down, I looked through every single one of my little graphics that I cut out, and I could not find favorite. I had favorite book month, and I didn't have of the. So I ended up getting rid of the of the out of the quote favorite book of the month and just put favorite book because I could not find 2 of the words in that sentence. So I just gave up and just put favorite book, and that's okay. I'll understand it, especially with the way I put the squares around here, and I usually put the months down, so that way I know exactly. And I think I found this design from somebody, I can't remember who it was, but I loved that. I think she put the total books on the bottom of each square, and then on the top she put her favorite, and I just really like that whole look. And it looks clean, and you can figure out how many books you read each month on this graphic. So really, really like that. So I decided to keep it again for this year. So this final page that I have for my reading journal is my author's backlist, and I did not do well this past year. I read a couple off the author's backlist that I wanted to read to 0, but I didn't do very well. So I think I'm going to change the authors that I choose this year. I decided not to add in the authors lists in the video because I'm not sure exactly which authors I want to try to read to 0 next year. I'm going to pick ones that only have like maybe 2 to 3 books that I haven't read from them, rather than like finding ones that like have like 6 or 8 or more. That's what happened last year. So I think it was just too many backlists because I do love these authors that I usually pick, but I just kind of need a break in between each author. And I usually don't binge read authors' books except for like my absolute favorite, which I did. I should have put her in last year's, but I totally forgot, but that's okay. Sarah Sundin is the author that I finished her backlist for this year, and I really should have put her in the backlist. I didn't even think about it, but I'm glad I finished at least one author's backlist. Then I added a couple of cute little girl stickers with like a blue theme to match the blue. I think this was really one of the only pages I put blue in, but that's okay. You know, I thought I was going to use more blue, but it's okay to only use a little bit of blue. Then I found these butterfly stickers, and I really struggled taking the backing off. It was one of those clear stickers that you just, yeah, they're hard to take off the back, so I had to pause the video in between to get the stickers. Oh, and I did forget, there is one last page that I did in this reading journal, and that's my 2026 tracker for releases, new releases. So I really try to do videos every quarter of the year to share with you each of the releases that I'm really excited about. So winter, spring, summer, fall, I will share all of the ones that I'm really excited for the year. And this is the only page that I did not use the distress ink to color in the word graphics because I don't think the brown would have looked good with the blue, so I just decided to keep it the black and white. I think I did it for the previous page as well. Here is the final flip through of my 2026 reading journal. I'm super happy with how it turned out. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you don't want to miss any reading journal videos and bookish videos. I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed day, and I will see you all in the next video.